Nirvana is one of the most influential bands of all time and was the band that turned the spotlight on many standout acts of the 90s that came from Seattle, turning the grunge scene into a worldwide phenomenon. They say Kurt Cobain, the singer of Nirvana, was a voice of generation. And undoubtedly, he was a great songwriter and performer and lived and died like a rock star, sadly too young, at the age of 27. And there is as much controversy surrounding his death as there was during his life. Montage of Heck is a documentary released in 2015 and was directed by Brett Morgan. This is the first documentary that had this much access to personal belongings of Kurt Cobain, journals, drawings, unreleased music and videos that were shared with Brett Morgan by Cobain's family. In fact, Francis Bean Cobain serves as an executive producer of this documentary. Kurt was very positive as a child and always was seeking to be in spotlight, but this was not to last long, as the marriage of Kurt's parents began to fall apart, leading to a divorce when he was 9 years old. Divorces were quite uncommon in the 70s, so Kurt felt ashamed that his parents have separated. As a result, Kurt became withdrawn and was a difficult, mischievous teenager in every household he was a part of throughout the years. Kurt lived with his father or mother on different occasions, at his friend's place, and as legends say, even under a bridge. Kurt's difficult behavior seems to have developed as he felt unwanted, unhappy, craved to be loved and to be a part of normal loving family as Cobains once were. But sadly, it was not meant to be. Kurt, however, found release in destructive but at times creative activities, as well as pot, alcohol, and finally, music. Kurt always excelled in art. Though his early music was not very promising, he found his footing with Nirvana eventually. Of course, the documentary dives deep into Kurt's life once Nirvana became the biggest rock band in the world, thanks to their hit song Smells Like Teen Spirit and success of their sophomore album Nevermind. At the same time, documentary talks about Kurt's sick stomach that drove him to using heroin in order to ease the pain, as regular medicine and doctors were of no help. The documentary is not too shy, exploring this aspect of Kurt's life, as well as his unhealthy relationship with wife Courtney Love, who has contributed to Kurt's drug problem. It was rumored that they have been both using drugs while Love was in condition. Needless to say, the atmosphere of the documentary is quite dark, probably making the watch difficult for Kurt's family and those close to him, as his portrayal is not very flattering. Overall, the documentary has an interesting style and unique character thanks to style and animation used based on Kurt's drawings, lyrics, music and family videos. The use of music is brilliant in this film and may change the way you have previously envisioned classic Nirvana songs. The reception of this film was overall positive by critics and audiences. However, how close to reality the contents of this documentary are is the question. Buzz Osborne, Cobain's friend, has stated in one of his interviews that 90% of the film is fiction. It seems that no one has seriously disputed his claims, which raises a lot of questions. Kurt Cobain and his art being the main source and inspiration for this film are not really that reliable, as Kurt is known for exaggerating, altering and distorting facts to his own liking in the past, romanticizing his life story in the process. And of course, Courtney Love being involved in the making of this documentary and appearing in the film also does not make her a reliable source due to her reputation. Besides, there is substantial evidence that Cobain wanted to divorce her shortly before his death, making it unlikely for Courtney to give positive feedback about her deceased husband. So, I approach Montage of Heck not as factual documentary, but as an artistic film based on true events. Looking at it from this perspective makes it one of my favorite films. I have always been fascinated by Kurt's life story, but the music did not really connect with me. Apart from their hits, such as Smells Like Teen Spirit, Heart-Shaped Box, and You Know You're Right, I had a hard time relating to their music. It just always seemed too simplistic to my liking. But this film made me appreciate it so much more when I've seen the intended vision behind their music, thanks to brilliant directing of Brett Morgan and source material provided by Courtney Love and Cobain family, especially Kurt's journals, notes and drawings that he made while working on particular songs. The fact that the film is over 2 hours long, but it does not feel like it, is a sign of good directing. I would easily rate this film at 9 out of 10 and highly recommend you to watch it, even if you are not a fan of Nirvana or even not a music fan, as the film is interesting enough to keep you engaged even if you know nothing to little about Kurt Cobain or Nirvana.